This is Wisconsin. It's going to be a little easier to say it than try to spell it. Anyhow, where I was born is Waukesha, Wisconsin, and it is an American Indian word. And just like the debate, people in Wisconsin, at least most of it, where I grew up, I haven't lived there since I was 16. So anyway, just like people in Wisconsin generally say Illinois, where people that live there call it Illinois, or I'm not pronouncing it correctly, I'm sure it's Illinois, and they usually put an S on the end. Although it's probably a change due to dialect shift, which is happening because more people are moving into the area. Though you really see in a lot of areas in Wisconsin, you'll see a lot of German, and you'll see a lot of languages. French Canadian is a lot of drift from Canada. Although a lot of it you will see is, like I said, German, some Irish. I know that when I'm very tired, I'm part Irish, although you really can't tell. Anyway, when I'm very tired, I know that Irish people do not pronounce the TH for some reason. So it ends up, they will say tree instead of three. And I know when I'm very tired, I will say tree. So instead of saying a lot of words, I will get some of the German stuff that my family picked up. And I notice this more when I'm tired, or I've had a little bit of drink. I can't drink much, but you will notice that kind of drift for some reason. It's probably just because I was the way I was raised and stuff. My dad's side of the family spoke American with, they don't do it anymore because they've been here a long time. They speak English, but they'll have German syntax. Instead of saying get your father his hat, they will say get for your father his hat, which I always thought was funny, and my mom's parents always thought it was very aggravating, and it frankly drove my mother nuts. So anyway, the cultural shift is really interesting, and I haven't been there for a while, so I can't tell you. People still tell me I have a Wisconsin accent, but I notice that I use a lot of California slang, and sometimes I will use Spanglish because we're on the border of Mexico. Actually, it's Mexico. I'm not saying it right. But I notice that I will use English variants of Spanish words unless I'm trying very hard. So you will see a Mexican person pronounce, or a first-generation person say words a lot differently than I will, but I generally have a lot better time trying to pronounce American Indian words for some reason. Maybe because I'm part American Indian, I don't know, although they didn't speak it. I speak a lot of the words that come out sounding either partially Irish, which I'm really not because I'm American, or partially German because a lot of that's what they spoke a lot of. Anyway, I don't know how to put it for an English teacher. I don't know how to put it any other way than what I was raised as. Again, you will see a lot of cultural shift now because a lot of people from out of state are coming in. But like I said, anybody that lives in Wisconsin will recognize my particular variant of southeastern Wisconsin accent. Again, you'll see a lot of people won't be able to pronounce Wisconsin or Wisconsin the way anybody else that is from that particular corner of that state will say it like I do. I noticed that the closer people get to Canada, you'll get the ooh sound. The closer you get that drawn out vowel sound like you do in Canada. And I noticed that I only have a very, very slight version of it because I live so far south. You will get a lot of people that are farther up. I know this one particular lady, she lives in Michigan, and she definitely has the stronger, almost Canadian type accent. And she definitely, I forget what they called it. They have a particular slang word for the dialect they speak, and I can't remember what it is right at the top of my head. But she definitely has more of a Canadian accent than, because they're closer to Canada, where I do not. So that's an interesting portion of it, and I don't know how else to put it, but say it. And people that, that hear me talk will definitely hear the accent, where I will know that I'm talking to a person from the Midwest, and I know that as you shift farther away from where I was born, the accent, the dialect sort of spreads, and it's not a real fast thing. It's almost like a slow drift the farther you get, which is very interesting. Once you get to like Iowa or something, I will say, well, this isn't an accent from where I was born. But like I said, the farther away you get from where I was born, the more the dialect shifts, which is really interesting. I haven't been there since I was 16. I can't afford it. But, you know, it's funny where you get that drift. And from what I gather now, it's even more so. But I haven't really even talked to my family, so I couldn't really tell you. But that's another thing. Instead of using yes, I will use the German ja, or ja. But that's the thing I picked up from my dad's side of the family, because my great-grandpa is from Germany, or was. He's not alive anymore. But, you know, I will use almost German slang words, which is really strange. Part of the family I grew up on, or grew up with. And I will also use some of the Irish sort of slang, like I will say tree instead of tree, and tree instead of three, which is weird because, you know, no, you won't really hear it, except in some parts of Wisconsin. You will definitely hear a lot of Irish people talking, which is strange. In Arizona, you have a lot of Irish people too, which is really strange. So anyway, I don't know what else to... It's hard to write it down, because it really doesn't make any sense when you try to write it down. So, I'm not an English teacher, I'm just a person. So anyway, there you go.